Dear friends, I'm Dr. David. For more than 30 years, I've worked in endocrinology and metabolism. I've met thousands living with diabetes, ordinary people like you and me, fighting a quiet, relentless disease. I remember one morning years ago, a man named Robert, 66, came to me with a gentle smile and weary eyes. He said, "Doctor, I'm thirsty all the time, losing weight, waking up at night to urinate. But that's just aging, right?" I quietly shook my head. His blood sugar was far above normal. He had type 2 diabetes for nearly 5 years without knowing. Robert's story isn't rare. Many live, love, and work thinking they're healthy until one day something changes. Their vision blurs, their feet go numb, or a wound won't heal, and they ask, "Why, doctor?" I tell them diabetes isn't just from sweets, it's from how we live, eat, and listen to our bodies. It doesn't hurt like a fracture or burn like a fever. It silently wears down blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, heart, and eyes. Like water carving rock over years, diabetes slowly leaves its mark. I tell my patients it won't kill you in a day, but it can steal the small joys of life: food, sight, strength, peace. But it's not a death sentence. With awareness, lifestyle changes, and control, you can live fully and happily. The danger of diabetes isn't just high blood sugar, it's how quietly it progresses, often unnoticed for years. Inside, the body changes, burns slowly like hidden embers beneath ashes. Medically, diabetes is a disorder of glucose metabolism. The body needs insulin to move sugar into cells for energy. When insulin is insufficient or ineffective, sugar stays trapped in the blood, raising blood sugar levels. Insulin is like a key. Each cell is a door. If the key breaks, sugar floats freely, harming vessels and nerves. There are 3 main types: type 1, no insulin; type 2, insulin resistance; and gestational diabetes during pregnancy. Type 2 makes up over 90% of cases, most preventable through early detection and healthy habits. In the US, 1 in 10 adults has diabetes, and 3 are pre-diabetic, one small step from the real disease. Many don't know they have it. Test regularly, I tell them. Don't wait for symptoms. Damage starts early. Diabetes doesn't discriminate rich or poor, man or woman. It affects those who stop listening to their bodies. It's born from small daily choices, but healing can come from small choices too. Understanding it is the first step to control it before it controls you. One of diabetes' most painful complications is vision loss. No one wants to live in darkness, not when we still want to see our family sunsets in the face of love each morning. I remember Susan, 70, a retired art teacher. Her vision blurred and dark spots floated before her eyes. She said, "Doctor, it's just aging, isn't it?" But her retina showed early diabetic damage. If not controlled in a few years, light itself would only be a memory. Diabetes weakens retinal blood vessels, causing leaks and bleeding diabetic retinopathy. It's one of the leading causes of blindness among older adults in America, and it progresses silently. No pain, no redness, only gradual blur or needing more light to see until it's too late. I tell my patients light is the greatest gift, don't lose it through neglect. The good news: if caught early, diabetic retinopathy can be controlled. Get annual eye exams even if your vision seems fine. A simple test can save your sight. Stable blood sugar is the cheapest, most powerful protection for your eyes. 6 months later, Susan returned smiling. "I changed my diet, walk daily, take my meds, I can paint again." I smiled back because I knew not only had her eyes healed, but her heart had too. Dear friends, if the eyes are the windows to the soul, then the kidneys are the silent filters of life. Every day, our 2 kidneys filter hundreds of liters of blood, removing waste, balancing water salts and minerals, keeping the body running smoothly. But when you live with diabetes for years, high blood sugar becomes like a slow acid, quietly damaging the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys. Over time, those vessels thicken, leak, and lose their strength until the kidneys can no longer filter blood effectively. And slowly, kidney failure develops, one of the most silent yet devastating complications of diabetes. I remember John, 72, a retired engineer, a strong man who loved life. He came to me pale and weak, saying he'd been tired lately with poor appetite, swollen legs, and foamy urine. He thought it was just aging, but his tests showed his kidney function had already dropped by over 60%, and he had no idea. He said, "Doctor, I never thought I'd face this. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I just have diabetes." I understood. Many believe that controlling sugar is enough, forgetting that sugar silently harms every vessel, and the kidneys are the first victims. When kidneys weaken, toxins build up, blood pressure rises, skin darkens, and some must rely on dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours each time. I've seen tears fall when patients learn they'll have to live connected to a machine for the rest of their lives. But believe me, it can be prevented. Control your sugar, stabilize your pressure, Eat less salt, drink enough water, and test regularly. I always tell my patients your kidneys can't speak, but they cry for help through swelling foamy urine or unexplained fatigue. Don't ignore those signs. A simple blood creatinine or urine protein test can detect early damage and save your kidneys. Months later, John came back smiling, his kidneys stable. He said, "Doctor, I never thought I'd feel this healthy again." I smiled and said, "You listened to your body, and that's the first step toward healing." Dear friends, few realize this diabetes doesn't just raise sugar, it ages your entire circulatory system. And the most dangerous consequences are heart disease and stroke. I remember one autumn morning, Michael, 67, called in panic, "Doctor, my chest hurts spreading to my arm and neck. I think I ate too much." Minutes later, he collapsed. By the time he reached the hospital, he was having a heart attack and survived only thanks to quick intervention. Michael had lived with diabetes for over 10 years, yet never felt real chest pain. And that's the danger. Diabetes can damage nerves so badly that even when the heart cries out, the body no longer feels the pain. I tell my patients diabetes is a disease of blood vessels. When blood sugar stays high, it's like thick syrup flowing through pipes, slowly coating, hardening, and narrowing them. That makes blood flow harder, forcing the heart to work more, raising blood pressure, and allowing plaques to form. When those plaques rupture, clots block the arteries, causing heart attacks or strokes. Linda, 64, once a vibrant woman, was watching TV when her hand went weak and her speech slurred. Within minutes, she had a stroke. She survived but spent nearly a year relearning how to draw again. She told me with tears, "I wish I had controlled my sugar earlier." Those words stay with me. The heart and brain, our most precious organs, are also the most fragile. I always tell my patients, don't wait until your heart stops to care for it. Love your heart every day, eat less saturated fat, walk 30 minutes, and keep blood pressure and cholesterol in check. Above all, control your sugar. It's the greatest gift you can give your heart. After his scare, Michael changed completely. Now he walks by the lake every morning, glucose meter in hand and a gentle smile. He said, "I nearly died because of my heart, but diabetes taught me to live slower, more gratefully, more mindfully." Maybe that's the lesson this illness wants to teach us all. Dear friends, few expect that a tiny wound on the foot could cost someone their life. But in diabetes, it happens more often than you think. George, 69, a retired police officer, came with a small sore on his big toe, about the size of a fingertip. He laughed, "It's just a scratch, doctor. It'll heal in a few days." But when I examined it, the skin was dark and swollen and faintly odorous, early signs of tissue death. He had lost feeling in his feet, nerve damage, a common complication of long-term diabetes. Without pain, he didn't realize the wound had been infected for days. I had to tell him the truth. "George, we need to act fast or you may lose this toe." His eyes filled with fear and regret. Who would think a tiny scratch could lead to amputation? Diabetes reduces blood flow and damages the nerves. When blood can't reach, wounds can't heal, and infection thrives. People lose sensitivity to heat, cold, or pain until one day they notice swelling, dark skin, or deep ulcers too late. That's what we call diabetic foot, one of the leading causes of non-traumatic amputation in the US. I always tell my patients, the worst loss isn't the foot itself, it's losing the feeling, the freedom to walk confidently. The good news, you can prevent it. Wash and dry your feet daily, wear fitted shoes, never go barefoot, and inspect your soles every night. If you see redness, blisters, or hard spots, don't ignore them. See your doctor before it becomes a nightmare. A year later, George returned with both feet intact. He said proudly, "Now I check my feet every morning with a mirror and massage them before bed." He smiled, "I finally understand, doctor. Our feet aren't just for walking, they're for living, for feeling life itself." I smiled back because he had learned the most precious lesson diabetes could ever teach: to cherish the small things before they disappear. Dear friends, if there's one thing that pains me most when treating diabetes, it's not the numbers on a lab report. It's when a patient looks at me and says, "Doctor, I can't feel anything anymore." I remember Mary, 65, who came to me with burning feet as if 1,000 needles were piercing them each night. She said, "Doctor, I can't sleep. When it's cold, my feet burn, but when I touch them, I feel nothing." She had diabetic peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage caused by years of high blood sugar. Her toes were darkened, small cuts unnoticed. Diabetes damages not only blood vessels, but tiny nerves throughout the body. Prolonged high sugar makes nerves swell, inflame, and eventually die, leaving numbness or burning pain like electric shocks. I tell my patients, pain, though unpleasant, is a gift. It tells us we're alive, still connected to our bodies. When that feeling disappears, even small injuries go unnoticed: a pebble in your shoe, a burn, a tight sock. Each can become the start of infection ulcers or worse. Nerve damage can also affect digestion, blood pressure, heart rate, and even cause erectile dysfunction in men. These are sensitive issues but very common, and hiding them only makes things worse. The good news is nerve damage can be slowed and improved if caught early. Keep your blood sugar stable, that's the key. Exercise, eat foods rich in vitamin B, magnesium, and omega-3. Months later, Mary returned smiling. I still feel a bit numb, she said, but I can walk in my garden again. I told her sometimes we can't restore what's lost, but we can make what remains better. Don't wait until your body goes silent to start listening. The smallest signs, tingling toes, burning palms, are gentle warnings. In over 30 years of practice, I've learned something simple yet profound. We don't just eat to live, we live the way we eat. For diabetics, every meal is part of the prescription. I often say your real medicine isn't the pill, it's the fork in your hand. A balanced diet can stabilize blood sugar, protect the pancreas, and prevent complications. But a few wrong choices, a soda white bread or starchy dinner, can spike your sugar for hours. Imagine this: each sweet treat makes your pancreas work overtime, calling insulin to clear your blood sugar. Over the years, that tireless worker wears out, and that's when diabetes truly begins. Start small, choose slow carbs, brown rice, oats, sweet potatoes, whole grain bread. Eat more greens, beans, and fatty fish like salmon or mackerel. They nourish your heart and balance blood sugar. Avoid refined sugar desserts, sodas, and fried foods. Linda, 63, once told me I thought dieting meant eating less, but it means eating right. She changed veggies first, carbs last, smaller meals, and after 3 months, her sugar dropped nearly 20%. She said, I'm no longer afraid of food because I've learned to make peace with it. Food isn't the enemy, it's an ally if we choose wisely. The body doesn't need perfection, just consistency. Eat regularly, never skip breakfast, avoid late dinners. Small acts repeated daily become true miracles. I always tell my patients, eat as if you love yourself. Every bite you take today speaks to your health tomorrow. And if you start making better choices right after this video, you've already taken one of the strongest steps to control diabetes. If there were one free side effect-free medicine everyone should take daily, it would be movement. Just 30 minutes of brisk walking helps your body use sugar better, improve insulin sensitivity, and balance glucose naturally. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym hard. Gentle, steady movement is enough. Robert, 70, once told me, Doctor, I can't even climb stairs without gasping for air. I smiled and said, then start with 5 minutes a day, step outside, breathe, walk slowly. Tomorrow a little more. 6 months later, he came back beaming. I walk half an hour daily, sleep better, eat better, and my sugar's stable. When you move, your muscles become sugar-burning engines using glucose for energy, lowering sugar even without medicine. Exercise cuts heart complications by up to 40% for type 2 diabetics, not by intensity but by consistency. Morning walk 15 to 20 minutes outside. After meals, move gently indoors. Stand, stretch, rotate shoulders, wrists, ankles. For seniors, focus on balance and flexibility, yoga, tai chi, or simple stretching. These stabilize blood sugar, calm the mind, and reduce stress, a hidden trigger for high sugar. When the body moves, the spirit moves too. You feel lighter, clearer, more alive. No movement is wasted, I tell my patients. Every step you take today is a step away from complications. Don't wait to feel strong to move, move to become strong. Start small, a walk, a song, or 10 minutes of stretching. Those small movements repeated daily are the true magic for people living with diabetes. Dear friends, there's a saying I often tell my patients: you can't control what you don't measure. With diabetes, that's truer than ever. Many people tell me, Doctor, I feel fine, I eat normally. My sugar must be fine too. Then when they finally test, the number on the screen shocks them. Diabetes doesn't cause pain right away, but it quietly destroys from within, damaging blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, and eyes. Only regular checkups can reveal small changes before they turn into serious problems. Helen, 61, once told me she hated checking her blood sugar. She was afraid of the tiny prick. But one day she fainted. Her blood sugar was 400 mg/dL and she had no idea. After that, she changed. Every morning she tested, recorded, carefully adjusted her meals, medication, and walks. 3 months later, her HbA1c dropped from 9.2 to 6.8. She smiled and said, Doctor, the needle doesn't scare me anymore. It feels like a friend that helps me understand my body. For people with diabetes, 2 numbers matter most. Daily glucose shows your current state. HbA1c every 3 to 6 months reveals your long-term average. Testing once and forgetting is like seeing a snapshot, not the whole movie. Regular checks tell the full story of your body. I often tell my patients, don't fear the numbers. They're not the enemy, they're the mirror. Those numbers show you when to adjust rest or see your doctor. Today, monitors are tiny, painless, even sync to your phone. But what matters most is your attitude. Don't wait until you feel tired. Check regularly as a habit of self-care. Because health isn't automatic, it's built through small daily acts. Checking your sugar says, I'm listening to you, body. Over 30 years, I've learned blood sugar rises not only from food, but from feelings. Some eat perfectly and exercise daily, yet their sugar stays high. When I ask about life, they sigh, I'm worried I can't sleep. Emotions, worry, fear, loneliness are invisible sugar flowing in the blood. Julia, 68. A widow came with fluctuating readings despite strict diet. When I asked if she felt stressed, she said softly, Doctor, I live alone. At night, I hear the clock ticking and my heart beating fast. Her diagnosis wasn't just diabetes, it was chronic stress. When we worry, cortisol and adrenaline flood the body. These hormones raise sugar as if preparing for danger, even when we're just sitting still. If that continues, it becomes a silent war between mind and body. I tell my patients, you can take medicine for your body, but only you can heal your soul. Learning inner peace is as important as diet or medication. When the mind calms, blood sugar follows. So sleep enough. Lack of sleep raises cortisol and morning sugar. Breathe deeply, meditate, read, listen to calm music. And don't keep sadness inside. Talk to someone. Even one honest conversation can heal the heart. I told Julia, you're not alone, your heart still beats, and that means there's still something to live for. Months later, she returned glowing. I walk, I plant flowers, I listen to music, my sugar's steady now. And I realize when we live slower, the body learns to heal itself. People think sugar control is about pills and food, but half of it comes from the heart. Because the body heals best when the soul is calm. Many have told me, Doctor, I'm afraid of taking medicine. I don't want to depend on it. I smile. That fear doesn't come from pills, it comes from feeling powerless. I tell them medicine isn't a chain. It's a bridge that brings you back to life. Peter, 65, refused metformin. I'll just diet and exercise, he said. 3 months later, his sugar and pressure were still high. He sighed, I tried so hard, but my body won't listen. I said gently, Peter, sometimes the body needs help. Medicine doesn't replace your effort, it supports it. Let the medicine do its part, and you do yours. Months later, he came back smiling, sugar stable. Now I understand taking medicine isn't weakness, it's courage. It's accepting help to live better. Diabetes isn't a short battle, it's a lifelong journey. Medicine, diet, movement, mindset, and checkups, they're all linked like a chain. If one link weakens, the whole system can collapse. That's why I tell my patients to come back every 3-6 months. To track HbA1c, check kidney, heart, eye, and nerve health, and review medications as the body changes. Don't wait until you're tired or in pain to see your doctor. By then, you may have lost more than just a number. And if you ever feel discouraged, remember, you don't take medicine because you're sick. You take it because you want to live. To live stronger, longer, and happier. Diabetes doesn't steal hope, it asks for patience and self-love. See every pill, every test, every visit as an act of love for yourself. Because in the end, what matters isn't how long you live, but how fully you live with health, peace, and gratitude. Dear friends, we've come a long way together in this video talking about diabetes, its complications, and most importantly, about hope. Because no matter how complex the disease or how long the journey, I want you to remember one thing clearly. Diabetes does not define you, how you live your life does. I've met hundreds of patients who thought they were finished, but they rose again through persistence, faith, and love for life. They didn't need miracles. They just needed one decision. I will start changing, even one small step at a time. I still remember James, 73 years old. On his first visit, he said hopelessly, Doctor, I think my life is over. But 6 months later, he returned, bright smile, holding a notebook filled with his meals and glucose readings. He said, Doctor, I started walking 15 minutes every morning. I eat slower, I laugh more, and now I truly feel alive again. That sentence to me is the greatest reward after decades of practicing medicine. Because I've learned when people care for themselves with love, the body finds its own way to heal. I know managing diabetes isn't easy. There will be days you're tired, skip testing, or feel like giving up. But please don't give up. Every small act today, a healthy meal, a 10-minute walk, a careful test, brings you closer to freedom. If this video touches you, do something for yourself. Start today, not tomorrow. Because tomorrow will only be better if you take action right now. And if you know someone fighting diabetes, please share this video with them. A single act of sharing can sometimes save a life. I'm Dr. David, and I believe that within each of us, no matter the age, there's still a flame of life, of strength, and of faith. Don't let any disease put it out. Keep it burning with knowledge, with compassion, and with daily action. Thank you for spending your time here with me. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share to spread hope to others. And remember, health is not a reward of luck, it's the result of choice. Choose to live healthy because you truly deserve it.